Hi everyone, it's Jessica. Thanks for joining me today. So today I have these two really pretty pictures of my daughter to scrapbook. They're both 4x6, and I am using my May kit from my Hip Kit Club subscription. And this particular kit is called Vintage Memories, I believe, and it just really does have that vintage kind of vibe to it. And I thought that the colors in it and the vibe of the papers and the embellishments went really well with these two photos. So I'm just kind of digging through the stash here of the papers and seeing, color wise, what do I like, what might work. This orange floral one was really kind of catching my eye, although the back side does have a ledger paper style to it, and I am a sucker for that. So I kind of thought about trying to make that work for a minute just before cutting into it. But I'm going to end up going with that other side that's got the orange florals on it. And then I also really liked that light blue pattern paper that had that pretty doily printed on it. And then, like I said, I've got a lot of embellishments and things like that to work with here that all are going to work color-wise and with that same kind of vibe of the picture. Now, I did contemplate maybe getting out my needle and thread and doing a little bit of stitching around this doily. I thought that that would be a really pretty use of this paper. And I also wasn't sure exactly how I was going to put my photos arranged on the page. I just knew that these were the things I wanted to use. I just really wasn't sure how at the beginning. Then, of course, in the midst of all of this, my cat Petunia had to come in and walk all over things and just generally get in the way. It was definitely a nuisance, but she's so sweet that it's hard to stay upset with her. So I'm going to shoo her out of the way and pause here for a minute to clear the cat. And then when I did that, I kind of came up with a final decision. So I pulled one of the solid cardstocks that I had gotten with this May kit in like a lighter yellow color, and I'm going to do like a photo mat, a 12-inch photo mat from that yellow cardstock, and then I cut that orange floral down to 6x12, and I'm just going to kind of put these over to the right hand side of that doily paper. Then I'm going to use all of those really fun embellishments just to build out in the center of that doily circle. Now, one of the coolest things that comes in this May kit is that there are a bunch of tags that are like fabric, and they have some really pretty like old text kind of things printed on them, and I just was like, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. So I'm going to try to use one of those, but really I just had gone through and pulled a variety of things. And what ends up taking shape here pretty quickly is a little vertical cluster for my embellishments. Like I said, I knew I wanted to fill in that center part of the doily in the circle. And so I was just trying to keep everything contained to that one spot. You'll see here in a second, I do try putting a few little embellishments in the bottom right-hand corner, like right there next to that photo. But I try a few things out and I don't end up leaving anything there. So in the end, I decide I've got enough going on right here in the center embellishment cluster that I have it be that, and that is it. So like I said, again, I'll kind of move some of these around here in the bottom corner, but ultimately end up pulling them off. And this layout, because I've got all of these different pieces to play with and they all coordinate so beautifully with the papers, it just kind of completed itself. I honestly think that I made this whole layout from start to finish in less than half an hour. And for me anyway, that is like speed scrapbooking. I never scrapbook that quickly. But it was just so easy to do because I just grabbed any of the embellishments that I thought would work and I just started tucking them and layering them. And just kind of, for the most part, once I finally leave this bottom corner alone, I'm just really sticking to the middle of that circle there. And it just happened so quickly and it was awesome. It was really a lot of fun. I do have this sentiment strip that I kind of try. It's got a sticker. It's like a foam sticker, I want to say, and it's got a nice saying on it, but even though I like it, it doesn't end up making the final cut. So I'll kind of move that one around for a little bit. And then right around here is where I also am looking at, I've got another die cut over there. It's that yellow scallop strip. And I really love that. So I'm going to pull that out here. And I thought that this would look really pretty tucked to either the side of the photos over here, although obviously it's not a 12-inch piece. So then I was like, well, maybe I can put it over to the left-hand side. And if I layer it just right underneath this little cluster that I've got going, maybe I can kind of cut it in two and make it look like it's a full 12-inch piece, because I did like that pop of yellow right there. So that's kind of what ends up driving me here to pull a couple more things. I went back to all of the die cuts and things that I had from the kit, and I was just trying to take that vertical cluster and lengthen it from top to bottom a little bit, because I thought if I can get it just a little bit taller and longer, then I can definitely make that yellow scallop piece work. So I've pulled in that die cut that's got that really pretty dress form on it, and then I've got a couple little like postage tag kind of things. And by the time I get done like lengthening that whole cluster, then I decide that I don't want to use it after all, but that was fine. You know what, it got me to my final cluster, and so that's all right. Before I glue any of the things down, I am going to edge distress that yellow piece with a little bit of brown ink, and then I'm going to take this orange floral piece and use my edge distressing tool just on the edge that is on the inside of the layout. I won't do the outer edge. So just the one part here, and then I will go ahead and glue all of the things down to that blue doily page and go ahead and glue down most of those die cuts too. A couple of things here, I did put a little bit of foam tape behind, so I'm going to pop them up. But like I said, this came together. I really could not believe how fast this was. One thing that I have been noticing lately about my scrapbooking is I've been turning to my Hip Kit subscriptions time and time again. And because there's just so much fun stuff to play with in the whole kit, die cuts, stickers, alpha letters, like just all the things. I have found that I really enjoy scrapbooking from a kit. It makes things so much easier and so much faster. So the last thing I am doing here, I was like, am I really done already? I was having a hard time believing it. So I pulled out the puffy stickers, and there were just a couple of really pretty little butterflies on there. So I'm going to grab those. They're in different sizes, and I'm going to sprinkle 3 of those around my little cluster, and that's it. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of have that one little cluster. I think that the center style there works really well with the nature of the pattern paper, and it doesn't really need anything else on this layout. And I was really excited to do these pictures. They were from earlier this summer. My daughter and her cousin were playing dress up, only I guess dress up now when you're just a little bit older kind of looks a little bit different. Instead, they were doing dress up and photographer. So they were just running around the yard having fun, taking, senior picture type photos of each other, even though they are not even in middle school yet. So I was like, I want those 2 pictures. They're too cute. She looks so pretty, and I knew that it was going to work really well with this style of my hip kit. So thanks for being here with me today. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching. Have a wonderful day and happy crafting. See you next time.